Greetings film fans and JPC News viewers, welcome to Not Too Critical Reviews. I'm your host Renard, and as the Oscars approach, pundits everywhere have been analyzing the numerous industry guild awards that have shown varying degrees of predicting their corresponding Oscar categories. Successful or not, what cannot be denied is that industry workers, not mere critics like me, populate these guilds and vote for their awards, which is equally the case for the illustrious Academy Awards. Now, I'm recording this podcast, or rather series of podcasts, after many of these guilds have announced their awards, some even a month ago. So consider this less of an update and more of a reflection, a contemplation, a consideration of these victories now that Oscar Sunday is all that's left on the horizon, barring a couple of guilds here and there. But most of the major ones have announced their stuff, so really all we're left with is the Oscar ceremony, so let's get into it. Let's begin with the ACE Eddie Awards, given out by the American Cinema Editors, which is what ACE stands for. ACE started giving their Eddie Awards back in 1950, and since 2000, they have split their main live-action film categories into film and comedy. In any case, they at least predict the best editing category fairly well, and their eventual winners narrow down the main competition for editing at the Oscars. They've predicted the Best Picture winner 16 times, and the Best Editing winner 18 times since 1990, so we're looking at above a 60% success rate for predicting either category. Not reliable, but at the same time not something to disregard. Now this year for drama, the winner was Margaret Sixel for Mad Max Fury Road, and for comedy the winner was Hank Corwin for The Big Short. The first is the action spectacle of 2015, possibly of the decade so far, while the second is the timely Best Picture contender and, as will be discussed in one of the separate podcasts down the line here, the recent Producers Guild Award winner, whose award has predicted the Best Picture winner correctly since No Country for Old Men back in 2007. Now before I discuss what this means further, allow me to get into ACE's animation category and get that out of the way first. ACE started their animation award in 2009, and besides the Lego Movie, all of their winners have gone on to win the Best Animated Feature Oscar. This year the winner, Kevin Nolting for Inside Out. At this point it would be suicide to consider anything else for upsetting Pixar at Best Animated Feature, so yeah, just pick Inside Out and move on. Back to the main award. The Oscar category for editing consists of the two live-action ACE Eddie victors, The Revenant, Spotlight, whose editing effort was actually snubbed by ACE, and Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens. Okay, first off, sorry Star Wars fans, but if one big-budget action film is winning the Best Editing Oscar, it's gonna be Mad Max. So consider Star Wars lucky to be nominated. Spotlight only has a shot if it's vying for Best Picture, and the Academy is trying to seek other categories among Spotlight's other 5 nominations in which to give it more, because lately, 3 Oscars have been the minimum amount for a decent Best Picture winner. The other 2 ideally being any combination of directing, editing, writing, or acting. However, having lost the PGA to The Big Short and having been snubbed by ACE in the first place, the editing Oscar, the chances of it going to Spotlight are so minimal at this point. So unless it's going to go for Best Picture, consider Spotlight also lucky to be nominated, which leaves Oscar voters with the 2 ACE Eddie winners and The Revenant. Now regarding the ACE Eddie winners, it'll be a matter of whether the Academy wants to sweep vote Mad Max in the technical categories without going for it in the top categories, because admittedly its Best Picture and Best Director chances have gone down since PGA and DGA. Or the Academy feels like The Big Short needs more wins to make it look like a better Best Picture victor. The PGA, like I said, hasn't predicted incorrectly since 2007, so if they want to give The Big Short Best Picture, they're probably going to want to give it Best Editing because it's not going to win that much else, and you wouldn't want to have a Best Picture winner with 2 Oscars. That hasn't happened since the 1950s, specifically 1952, The Greatest Show on Earth, and that film is one of the more controversial Best Picture winners. The Oscars, they're already drowning under controversy this year. I don't think they want any more, and to give their top winner not that many statuettes, so there's that. That being said, I will discuss this more heavily in the big 3 guilds discussions, meaning PGA, SAG, and DGA. But if there's one film with all the momentum right now, it's The Revenant. It recently won the DGA, and the momentum not only could help its Best Picture and Best Director chances, it could also start to turn other categories in its favor, editing included. This may be important because, now here's a stat I didn't mention earlier. ACE, despite having 2 primary categories for editing, has actually failed to predict the Best Editing Oscar winner for the past 3 years years now. 2012's Argo was the last Ace Eddie winner to win Best Editing at the Oscars. Normally, I would say to stick with Mad Max, the dramatic winner, but really all I can say at this point is that The Big Short, Mad Max Fury Road, and The Revenant all have strong cases to win. Though, just between you and me, I suspect Mad Max, whose Best Picture contention has, like I said earlier, fallen by the wayside due to its losses at the big three guilds, it'll probably take Best Editing. I feel so because there's a chance that The Big Short and The Revenant will split that Best Picture momentum sentiment that fuels their editing contention, despite being separated by 7 Oscar nominations, thus allowing the action spectacle to pull through in the end. I mean, Mad Max and The Revenant are both facing each other in 10 of the below-the-line categories, and they're going to split all of them. Not one film is going to win all of those below-the-line categories. So, and I predict editing will go to Mad Max. But that's just my theory. At best, Mad Max just makes the most sense as the predicted winner, only by a tiny bit. Directing is important, and editing is important if you want to be even close to the Best Picture victory conversation. However, before acting comes writing, which means the WGA and the USC Scripter. However, in most years, there's a snag. The Writers Guild of America is just as unreliable as SAG, but for a different reason. The WGA deems so many scripts ineligible because only WGA signatories can compete. That means no to most foreign-produced scripts, and no to all animation scripts. Sorry, Pixar. This year, that problem shouldn't be that prominent because the categories, original and adapted, are locked pretty much everywhere. By that, I mean Spotlight, winner of the WGA's and BAFTA's Original Screenplay Award, and The Big Short, winner of the WGA and BAFTA's Adapted Screenplay Award, are locked for the Oscar, both of them. Even if neither one wins Best Picture, they'll at least leave this Sunday's telecast with these 2 statuettes under their arms. Apologies again to Inside Out and the unnominated Steve Jobs. The USC Scripter, on the other hand, only awards adapted screenplays, but not only do they nominate and award the actual screenwriters, they also award the original source material. Now, this year was actually the precursor to predict Steve Jobs' snub, nominating instead The End of the Tour, which also didn't really go anywhere besides USC Scripter. But in any case, the USC Scripter has been pretty fair with predicting the Best Adapted Screenplay Oscar, and this year also shouldn't be any different. The Big Short won the USC Scripter. So Spotlight is going to win Best Original Screenplay at the Oscars, and The Big Short will win Best Adapted Screenplay. Thanks for tuning into these Oscar season update video podcasts. Have you seen any of the films that have been nominated and awarded by these guilds? What are your thoughts on the films, on the winners, and on the nominees? Please be sure to let us know in the comments section down below. Please also be sure to give this video a like, and also be sure to check out any of our show's previous episodes by subscribing to the JPC News channel and liking the JPC News Facebook page. I'm Renard, and this is another edition of Not Too Critical Reviews' Oscar season update video podcasts. See you next time.